Hello, and welcome to A Thought in Progress, subtitled I Have Something to Say. Um, yeah, it's a Saturday, the 18th of April, 2020. I'm your host, Jason W. Tapscott. I'm a CPS, a poet, an author, and a YouTube host. And we're still in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak and trying to deal with that. It's a difficult thing. Just to give a little anecdote, I was just texting my mom, telling her how I try and make as few trips outside as possible, no more than one a day. And she lives out in Chester County, and they aren't hit as hard out there by the virus, but because I'm in Philadelphia. Um, but she was so concerned. She was like, "Oh, you shouldn't even go out once a day. You should, you know." But it's hard. You have to get out of the house for your mental health, and just try and keep it at a minimum and wear masks. So those are the thoughts there. Um, Now, I had a very long, interesting conversation with my brother. He lives in Florida, and his name's Sean. We're supposed to go visit him at the end of next month. I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, the coronavirus has us all stopped in our tracks, and it's difficult to figure out uh, what's safe and what we should be doing, and not give in to anxiety. So we will talk a little bit about that. So anyway, I had this conversation with my brother, and a couple things came up that were kind of percolating in my mind. I like to use that word because that's how my mind works. Um, there'll be times I'll think to myself, "Well, that's an interesting question," and I'll just leave it there, and I'll do some other things. And in the back of my mind, in my subconscious, it's spinning and brewing over and over again. You know, what are some answers? What are some answers? So that's just how my mind works. I'm not bragging. That's just how it is with me. It gives me some good philosophical insights, and it can also create some of my mental distress that I deal with daily. So that's, you got to take the good with the bad with that. But anyway, we were talking, me and my brother, and one of the things that came up was, um, there's always this question of, well, why is sin in the world? Why is sin in the world? Why is there evil? Why are there things like the coronavirus? Why do we die? Why do our bodies decay? Why does everything degrade? Even scientifically, you know. And my thought on this, on that subject, is that because, and I'm gonna get a little bit not just philosophical but religious on this point, um, because the creator, and you can call that creator whatever you want, he or she, whatever you want to call him or her, um, loves us. He or she is the epitome of love, right? That's the ultimate thing. The creator loves us, and the expression of his or her love is going to be free choice, free will. He loves us so much, he doesn't want us as his or her slaves. Okay? Um, so that's the expression of love, and from that expression of love we get freedom, you know, which is really the only way that love can be expressed back to him, through freedom. And so with that enters into the equation the wrong choice, the bad choice. And that's where evil and sin come from. Okay? So I was talking to my brother like this. I was saying, love and sin, love and evil are brethren. They entered the world at the same time. Sort of, sort of. So probably love came first, and then the expression of love was freedom, and with that freedom we get fear and sin and evil and everything. I hope I'm making sense. I'm not sure. Maybe those of you viewing this can let me know if I'm being confusing or if I'm on the right track. But that's how I view it. Um, because of the overarching nature of love, sin and evil and decay and degradation have entered the world. You can't have one without the other because of that moment of choice where we could honestly make the bad or evil or sinful choice. If we didn't have the option to make that sinful choice, we would be slaves. and we would not know love. We would not know freedom. I can't put it any simpler than that. So those are, love and sin are brethren, really. You can't have one without the other. I hope that makes sense. So then, if you're Christian, you go, Christ is on the cross, and you know, um, and then love and sin kind of get put in a different light, and I guess you can even say love conquers sin. In the end, I don't know. I haven't given it much thought. I'll have to let that brew in my subconscious, and get back to you on that. But the point being that at the origin of the world, we were created as beings of love. We were given a choice, and because of that love gave us that choice, we have sin. And I don't want to belabor the point, but that's where I'm coming from with that. Um, so and with sin comes death, and that's where the decay and the degradation come from. Um, because we don't make healthy choices, and since we make those unhealthy choices, what do you think that's going to lead to? Um, unhealthy results. You know. Um, so I guess in Buddhism we would see that as karma. The wheel of samsara, which me and my brother also talked about. We're I'm not bragging. We're both very intelligent, and we have these conversations, and it's great to be able to have them. I'm very grateful to have a family that loves and supports me, even when I have these flights of fancy and mental illness at times. So I'm very lucky there. I've still got a job and working from home, but very grateful for the all the still have a paycheck, all the support. Um, got my tax return, spent about half of it, but saving some money for some bigger purchases. So there's an aside on my personal situation right now. Um, and I just want to say that all I can do is be mindful of the luck that I've had, you know, and be grateful for it and not take it for granted, and try and pay it forward. And I've tried to do that throughout my adult life, really realizing how lucky I am. So, back to Buddhism. We have the wheel of samsara, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a big durable wheel. We're all running. We're all trying to get somewhere. Um, we're being complimented and insulted. We're making good and bad decisions. And the beauty in Buddhism is that enlightenment is getting off of that wheel and seeing things as they are in the moment, right? And not really, really not making a cause and effect choice at all. Not, and that's what Buddha called the middle path. No, not bad, not good, um, no compliment, no insult. Just knowing who we are in the moment and and there comes that freedom again. Freedom to be, freedom to be. And that can only be expressed as love from the Creator, if we want to go back to that, you know. So what I'm getting at is that no matter what we do or don't do, we are valued and we are loved by something greater than ourselves because we've been um, created and put on this earth. Now, let's talk about death a little bit. I honestly believe that after, let's be frank, we're all gonna die one day, and that's tough. That's that's tough to even think about, right? It sounds silly. Me, I'm gonna die. I don't know. Uh, you know, but we are gonna die one day, and I don't even point to religion with this part. I point to science, and science says, get this, science says nothing can be created nor destroyed. No energy or matter can be created or destroyed. So the energy of my consciousness doesn't just disappear at death. Yes, my body breaks down. Okay. But that energy from the consciousness has to go somewhere. So where does it go? I don't know that part, but I do know that it doesn't just disappear. So there is and my brother and I also talked about this. There is that chance where we go to a higher level of consciousness, or we become one with this greater consciousness. That's probably how I would put it. We go and become one with God, and we still have you know really sort of contact with the collective unconscious of all the human beings who are still alive. Um, but we can talk about that again next time. Um, so I don't know if this was a good episode. It feels a little strange, me just kind of throwing some ideas out there. I would love to hear some feedback and your own thoughts. And please check out my books. Um, I love to philosophize. I'm basically a professional philosopher, if you will, as well as a CPS. So I'm a, a professional crazy philosopher, and that's really what I am. And I can say that with some pride and some reality, and not and I would even some of you might have heard this before. I would even categorize it as mad pride. In other words, pride. Yes, I'm living with mental illness. Yes, I'm accepting it. I'm empowered by the opportunities that have been placed before me, even with or without the mental illness. And I'm moving forward with a sense of pride in myself, regardless of what I'm dealing with up here. Okay? So yes, please buy my books. JasonTapscott.com, Amazon.com. They're ebooks. They're 99 cents a piece. I'm working on the third one, hopefully a paperback out within the next year or so, year or two. I don't know. I'm against deadlines, so I haven't really set one for myself. And we're gonna leave it there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I would love some feedback and um, thoughts, philosophical thoughts. Whatever uh, percolates in your mind. Okay, and have a good day, and try and be safe and wise out there.